Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Vinyl Den, your channel for record collecting by record collectors. My name is Nick. And as you can see, I'm here all by myself this week. That's because I just got back from Record Store Day, Record Store Day Black Friday. So that's what I'm going to be talking about this week. So before I get into the stuff I picked up and how Record Store Day Black Friday kind of rolled out for me, I do want to give a big thanks to everyone who's joined the Vinyl Den Facebook group. It's been kind of cool to create this conversation around music in general and records, and it's been kind of fun so far. But if you haven't done so yet, I definitely encourage you to do that. I'll put a link down below. You can check out the group and see what we got going on. So if you're new to vinyl records and Record Store Day, typically Record Store Day happens only twice a year. The first one is always the third Saturday in April, unless that happens to also fall on Easter weekend, then it'll get pushed up to the second Saturday, which is what happened last year. And then there's also the Record Store Day Black Friday event. Which happens obviously Black Friday, it's the day after Thanksgiving here in the US. So this year, because of the pandemic and everything, it got kind of pushed around and altered. The one in April got pushed until I believe it was June 20th. And then from June 20th, it actually got broken up over 3 dates. It was the third Saturday in August, and then September and October. Ian went with me in for August. If you want, you can check out, I'll drop a link up above for the video there, where we talked about kind of how that experience went for us. And then in September and October, because Ian had to work on those days, so I flew solo. But for Record Store Day Black Friday, my oldest son Jack, he's 16. He decided that he wanted to go with me, so he got to keep his old man company for at least for Black Friday. Ian did luck out a little bit because Jack went with me. He was able to pick up because the record store that we go to, Dearborn Music, absolutely fantastic place. You can check them out online. I think it's dearbornmusic.net. They do free shipping anywhere in the U.S. I believe if the order is over $30. But if you don't have a record store by you, definitely check them out. It's a fantastic place. But anyway, they limit Record Store Day titles to only one title per customer. So Ian actually lucked out because there wasn't any Record Store Day titles that Jack wanted. There were some. He's a big rap fan, so actually I believe I got a couple of his rap albums up on the shelf behind me. But so there were a couple of things he wanted to look for because they were doing a 20% off sale. For Record Store Day titles and non-Record Store Day stuff. So Ian actually did pick up a couple of titles through Jack, so he didn't strike out completely, but there was a couple of things I was really looking forward to, and this was one of them. This is the 45. David Gilmour and his daughter Romany did a song. This is Yes, I Have Ghosts off of his wife's. So his wife wrote a book, I think it was earlier this year, and this is a song he did for that book. So I was really looking forward. Obviously I'm a big Pink Floyd fan, so anything related to Pink Floyd I'm going to pick up. I've got, some of the Nick Mason stuff that he's done. Obviously I've got David Gilmour solo stuff. I got Roger Waters solo stuff. But, I was definitely looking forward to that. I've listened to it so far. It's got the normal mix on one side, and then it's got the Andy Jackson remix on the opposite side. So it's a really good song. If you haven't heard it, definitely check it out. But the other 45 I picked up was one that I was really looking forward to. And I was pretty disappointed the night before Record Store Day, or I guess it was probably, I believe on Wednesday, Dearborn Music put out a list of the stuff that they were going to have. And I was pretty disappointed that this wasn't initially on that list. And it's Chris Cornell's Patience. So this is Patience, and then Nothing Compares to You, which are two fantastic songs he did. The covers is what I was trying to think of. But anyway, this was initially, they said that this was going to get pushed back a week or so, and they didn't have a ship date. And then I left the record store. I made it home probably by 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning. And then I saw probably half an hour later they posted on their website that they'd got it. So my wife actually ran out with the kids and picked it up for me. So it's kind of cool. It's I've already listened to this probably 3 or 4 times. Absolutely fantastic set of songs, and it's on white, just a plain white 45. I'm not a huge fan of 45s. I don't have a whole lot of them, but this is one that I definitely was excited to grab. I do have Nothing Compares to You is on the Chris Cornell package that's behind me. I don't have the super deluxe box set. I only got the 2 album set, but that's on there. It's just a great song. That's actually a great set. Also, if you don't have the full Chris Cornell discography, that's definitely a great one to pick up. So Record Store Day went pretty typical, I guess, for 2020 standards. Jack and I got there about I want to say it was probably about midnight, and there was already one person that was ahead of us. He actually had his whole cot and everything set up. I guess he got there about 8 o'clock at night. And, it wasn't too bad. We went out there, got set up. And I don't think anyone really started showing up until probably after 3:30. But sometime between 3:30 and 4:30, I don't know, I fell asleep for a little while. But it seemed like a bunch of people showed up within like 20 minutes. And that's kind of how it went. I think back in September and October is kind of the same thing. I think the cold kind of kept some people away because I want to say it was about 45 degrees when we showed up. And, I had my little heater out there, so we were nice and toasty warm. But I think a lot of people either stayed home for at least for a little while or, they decided to brave the cold, I guess. But by the time that the record store opened at 8 o'clock in the morning, I'll put up a picture. I took a picture of the amount of people, and you probably really can't see in the picture, but the line actually stretches all the way past the road. So there was probably a good, I'd say 200 people in line, or somewhere between 150 to 200 people. And they managed to process everything pretty fast. I think a lot of stores are doing it this way now. They actually cut my sheet here. What Dearborn Music does is they give you this sheet here, and they pass all these out at 8 a.m. and you just kind of go through and you mark off what you want. And they had everyone processed by 8:20, so it was a really efficient system that they've got set up. So then they text you when your order's ready. So it worked out pretty good. And like I said, I want to say we were done by 8:35, 8:40. The whole process went pretty fast, but we ended up sticking around a little bit longer because they don't let normal business start until I think it was about 9:15. So we stuck around because we want to do some more shopping. Because like I said, they had a 20% off sale for everything, including Record Store Day titles. So that was pretty sweet. I don't think there's a whole lot of stores out there that do that, at least for Record Store Day titles. But we definitely picked up our share. So the first album I got here, it was one that I don't really think I had on my list for the longest time. And until I think it was right around the time that Ian and I did our Record Store Day Black Friday preview a couple weeks back. I'll drop a link above for that if you want to check that out. But, being children of the 80s like Ian and I are, we both grew up on this show, Fraggle Rock. So this is a 10-inch picture disc. I haven't listened to it yet. I really haven't listened to most of the stuff I picked up yet. I haven't had that much time at least. But I definitely will spin these over the next couple of days, and I'll post them online and let you guys know what I think. Generally, picture discs, I'm not a big fan of. I do have some, but this is one that I definitely couldn't pass up. The next one, I'm not a huge Jewel fan, but Jewel Live at the Interchange, this is one that, another one I really didn't have on my list until I started hearing more about it, probably within the last week and a half. And that, it's a really good selection of some of her early work. This is a live album from, I don't know what year it was, but it was prior to her debut album, I believe. But I don't know. It's another one that, I like a lot of her early stuff, especially. And it, so it's one that, for the right price, I'd pick it up. The next one was one that I didn't initially have on my list either. And it, I'm not a huge fan of this band, but this is actually a really good album. And the more I started hearing people talk about it, the more I knew it was going to be harder to get after the fact. So, I knew if this was going to be pretty much my only chance to get it. A lot like the Slave to the Grind was for the October Record Store Day drop. I wish, in hindsight, I probably should have picked it up, even though I'm not a huge fan of that album. It's one that I know I'll probably never get another chance to get. And that's Buck Cherry's debut album. First off, the artwork's pretty sweet on this. And I don't remember if this is on. This is another thing that kind of gets me about some of the pressings nowadays. So they're charging more. A lot of albums, you're into the easily mid 30s on especially when it comes to double album, but they still come with paper sleeves. Buckcherry did it right. This has got a really nice, static-free sleeve. And that's actually a pretty sweet-looking album. I don't know what they call this, but it's like an orange with, I don't know if you can see it good in the camera there, but yellows and reds through it. It looks pretty sweet. So it's definitely an album that I'm really glad I grabbed because I'm already starting to see it go for definitely inflated prices on Discogs and eBay. The last couple of ones are definitely ones that I was really looking forward to. The first one here is Sat by Alice in Chains. This is a pretty good EP of some of their early work. I know this has got Brother Got Me Wrong on it, so it's got some really great songs that people really know on here. And I don't remember if this is, lost the insert here. I don't use these, so I guess if anyone out there wants it, you can have the digital copy of it. I don't know if you can see it on there. But yeah, I don't ever use those. But and this is just on your standard black. But the cool thing about this, I don't know if you can see it, is the Alice in Chains etching on the back side of it. I got the football game on behind my screen here. I don't know if you can see that, but so it's kind of cool. But it's I've been a big Alice in Chains fan for a long time. They got some fantastic albums. Probably one of my favorite albums of the 90s is their Unplugged album that they did. Fantastic album. If you don't have it, definitely it's definitely worth picking up. The next album is another band that I've been a big fan of for a long time. Not as long as Alice in Chains, obviously, but this is Life on the Murder Scene by My Chemical Romance. And, I've been a fan of theirs probably since Black Parade came out, or at least the first time I heard it was around sometime in 2006. But this is a live album, and it's I'm actually really glad I grabbed this because this is, you probably can't see it on the camera really well, but this is like the blood on the it's got like a textured blood to it, so that's kind of cool. And then the album itself, pretty sweet looking. It's like a blood splatter. So the next one is one that I've been a big fan of this album for a long time. I believe I think this came out in 88 or 89. And it's The Great Radio Controversy by Tesla. I think this is one that a lot of people were looking for Black Friday. And surprisingly, I guess I didn't realize there was that many Tesla fans out there. But this one went really quick at Dearborn Music. I know that I heard several people outside talking about it afterwards, saying that they had missed out on it and that they were going to go to a couple other places to see if they could grab it. It's pretty cool looking album. It's on a translucent purple. It's got the old Geffen Records sticker on there. It's I've been a big fan of the album for a long time. I believe this is one of the first CDs my brother actually owned. But it was one that I looked at on Discogs because I don't remember if it actually has received a proper reissue within the last couple of years. But I know I was looking at some older pressings. And, if you missed out on the Record Store Day title, you can pick up older pressings for under $30. But, and it's, like I said, it's a fantastic album. If you're a fan of that Tesla in that period, it's one to definitely to own. All right, so there was one more thing I picked up for Record Store Day. When the list was originally released, in I believe it was February or March of this year, the Rolling Stones' Let It Bleed was one of the things I first saw on there that's like, I have to have that one. It was a hand-poured, limited pressing. There's only been 900 of them. It's a fantastic album. It's probably my favorite Rolling Stones album. And then something kind of unfortunate happened. About a week ago, or sometime within the last week, I saw a video of an unboxing on YouTube. And I was pretty disappointed in the packaging. This was going to be a $100 album. And the packaging really wasn't worth $100. I'm sorry. The album itself looked kind of cool, but I just couldn't do it. I couldn't pull the trigger. The record store I went to, Dearborn Music, they actually got 3 copies of the Let It Bleed limited pressing in. So and with me being second in line, I could have grabbed at least one. Actually, Jack was there with me, so technically I could have grabbed 2 of them. And these things are already going for huge dollar amounts on Discogs, on eBay. You're talking $500 to $1,000. But you know, the resellers are kind of, that's one of the things that kind of irritates me about Record Store Day. You know, I didn't want to be one of those people. I didn't want to go out and buy an album just to flip it. You know, I wanted those albums to really land in the hands of people that really cared a great deal to have something like that. And, you know, so I didn't pull the trigger. On it. I decided to pass. But the one thing that they did have in the store, and I paid roughly about the same amount of money as it was for that Let It Bleed. And this is one that's actually really worth the money. And this is the 50th anniversary box set of Let It Bleed. And, you know, I got this for 20% off at Dearborn Music. And it's actually got quite a bit. I haven't opened it up yet because I wanted to open up on the video here because I don't know. If you've seen the video, I'm sure a lot of you guys have the Let It Bleed video on there that I'm talking about. You know, I think overwhelmingly the sentiment was pretty unanimous that it really wasn't worth that kind of money. But I want to show you something that is a similar dollar value that definitely is worth that. If I can get this thing open. So this came out last year. Like I said, this is the 50th anniversary box set. It's hand numbered. You know, I believe the Record Store Day issue is also hand numbered. The Record Store Day came with a certificate of authenticity. This has 2 LPs. I know it has the stereo version and the mono version. It's got a couple of CDs and it's got a 7-inch single, and it also has a 80-page hardcover book. It's got a poster. This is remastered by Bob Ludwig, so you know it's going to be a fantastic pressing. What I can say is, if the Rolling Stones would have issued the Record Store Day pressing in this packaging, I probably would have paid more than $100 for it. I'll try to show you the back here. This is everything that's included in this box set. So obviously, as you can see, if you compare this to that video, or if you own the Record Store Day issue of Let It Bleed, you can see that there's a lot more to this package for relatively the same amount of money. Let's see if I can get this thing open. Just want to be stubborn. There we go. So it's got a nice book in it. This is the, let's see, take all this out. So this has got the envelope that's got the posters and stuff in there. I think it's got a couple of lithographs also. And then, like I said, it's got the mono version and stereo version. Here's the 2 CDs that come with it. Let's see if it says, yeah. So this got the mono version, stereo version. And then, like I said, it's got this big 80-page book with just a bunch of pictures and a bunch of other stuff in it. So like I said, it's a fantastic packaging. And this is what I was really expecting that Record Store Day issue to be. Maybe not something to this extent, but something a lot more than just a standard jacket with a standard sleeve. And, you know, like I said, really cool looking pressing, but man, I just didn't see that as $100 collection. You know, if that thing was maybe $50 or $60, I would have been all over it. It would have been, you know, I think that's kind of where that kind of pressing belongs, is in that dollar range. Being $100 pressing, that kind of packaging, I just couldn't do it. So one of the kind of cool things that I didn't notice when I was opening this up is the mono pressing of this. Mono pressing, it's just on standard black wax, but it's you know, it's got the red label on there for the mono. And then the stereo version is on this, the blue, stereophonic sticker. And the cool thing is the CDs that come along with it are the same as the label. So I thought that was kind of cool. It's an added touch like that I expect in a package like this. I know the oh, by the way, Pink Floyd box set that came out in 2007, I believe it was the anniversary box set. The thing that I really liked about that box set was this. It was a CD box set, it wasn't vinyl, but the labels for the CDs were the exact replicas of the labels on the vinyl albums. It's small touches like that I think make a big difference in a package like this. Well, something else I just found in the package here. This is pretty cool. Now this Let It Bleed set was limited to 27,000. So there's quite a few of them out there. You can find them pretty decent price, $150 on Discogs or whatever. But these are so it's got these lithographs inside. As you can see, it's got so this is number 8,966. But I thought it was kind of cool. Just different drawings of it. I don't know. I'm really impressed by this packaging though. I think that especially for what I paid for it, it's $110 I think is all it was. But if you can find this out there, if you can get your hands on this, look, like I said, I know that a lot of people were really interested. I know the Let It Bleed record store day titles went fast. It was typically the first 5 or 10 people in the door were the ones that were looking for it. But I don't know. I hope they really enjoy it. I hope they love the album. For the price of it, I really feel that this is a much better packaging for this album. Well, that's all I got for you this week, guys. Thanks for checking the show out. Thanks for checking out the stuff I picked up and listening to me ramble on about Let It Bleed. But that's all I got. If you guys want to click the link below, go check out the Vinyl Den Facebook group. Like I said, we got great conversations going on there. It's really fun time. But if you enjoyed the episode, give me the old thumbs up, hit the subscribe button down below, and come out and check out the episode next Sunday. I'll be rejoined by Ian, and that's all I got. Until next time, keep on spinning. Peace.